Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing my Big Bang Theory Season 3 Season 6 Retrospective. Last Retrospective was the longest one, okay, so are we going to beat it here today? I don't know. Let's get into it. So in episode 1 of Season 6 we start off here in the comic book store. I don't know why I said here in the comic book store. Stu was asking about Howard in space, and yeah, he's up in space alright, so that's a plot detail. Like we have the characters just down here on Earth, and then we have Howard on space. Season 6 could have just start off with what it was like in the fourth episode with him coming back. But I like it seeing Howard in space and all that. And his mother is still annoying him. I like the detail that he has like kind of like a stubble on it, and especially a little beard growing. Because of course, I don't think he'd be shaving up there. I don't know. That's probably not his priorities. I mean, it's pretty cool to see the space station. I don't know if this is exactly what it looks like, but I mean, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, Howard is like in the middle of his mother and Bernadette, because Bernadette wants Howard to move in with her and all that. We've kind of done this before, but it's still pretty funny. His mother yelling at him all the time. That was pretty funny, and her just not going anywhere near the computer because she's gonna catch a computer virus. And Raj is here. He's pretty annoying in this episode, to be honest. He just kind of ruins the plot for everybody. I mean, he's kind of hanging around with Sheldon and Amy, and then he's kind of hanging around with Leonard and A Penny, and then he's going to see him and Stuart kind of start their kind of friendship. The kind of I guess Stuart kind of becomes a replacement for Howard in the beginning of the season. But yeah, I mean. Uh, I hate how inconsiderate Raj was in the story. I really didn't like him. Also, the Sheldon and Amy plot wasn't that great. Whatever. I mean, I guess the favorite part with Raj in this episode was him telling everybody to say that they love each other. I mean, that was kind of cool for the relationship. And of course, they won't say it yet, but I mean, it was still cool. Yeah, one of my least favorite Raj plots. Okay, he really just feels like an outsider here. He's the only one who's not in a relationship there, and he's just really struggling. Also, it doesn't really feel like Howard would obviously be hanging out with Bernadette. So I mean, even if Howard was gone, I mean, this didn't really affect the story that much. And when we have Howard gone, we need to take advantage of him leaving. So why not? I don't know how. So maybe maybe say that Roger was going to hang out with Howard, but then of course he's gone to space. So I mean, he can't do that or something like that. But I don't think it really acknowledges that, unfortunately. But yeah, the Amy and Sheldon plot, I mean, it was just kind of weird or whatever. I mean, it just didn't really stick out to me. Boring Sheldon and Amy stuff. I mean, Amy's just kind of getting angry. It doesn't really feel like it's earned because whatever. I guess it's their anniversary, and Sheldon doesn't really say anything meaningful. But at least they did kind of do this thing in season 7. But I kind of felt more hyped, not more hyped, but I kind of more deserved, and he doesn't even kiss or anything. He just delivers his message to Amy, or says something to Amy from the Spider-Man movie. I mean, that was just kind of annoying as well. Like, come on, like Amy just forgives him straight away. Like, what is this? Yeah, probably one of the worst to Amy and Sheldon plots. This really just doesn't have anything here. This episode was a little bit of a disappointing opening to the season after the season 5 finale. Like, it really didn't do anything for me, to be honest. So season 6, episode 2. This is a fun one. Howard's still out in space, and we see him interacting with the guys, which probably should have happened last episode. Like, really, it kind of feels like they're talking to him for the first time when he's in space. So why did they wait so long? Like if 24 episodes takes place in a year, that makes 2 episodes. It's like basically a month. So it's been a month since he went into space. Whatever, we don't really follow Howard in space this episode. It's just kind of a few scenes, and that is it. But the main part about this episode is about Penny and Leonard breaking up, which just kind of feels a bit annoying because they just got back together. And I know Leonard proposed in bed and all that, but I don't know, it just kind of feels like they're going backwards again. I mean, we got the whole arc about Penny and Leonard getting back together, and just kind of feels like they're going to break up again. Of course, they don't break up, so I mean, that's cool, but. I mean, it kind of feels like season 4, episode 20, my second favorite episode of the show, where the secret spread around the group that Howard and Bernadette were going to break up. But this episode, not everybody learns about it. And of course, Penny and Leonard were going to break up. Okay, and but they didn't end up getting engaged at the end of the episode. No, definitely not. But this episode does take advantage of Howard being in space with Stuart kind of join the group and all that. So I mean, that's cool, and they all go to the movies and all that, and that's fun. And yeah, but this episode just never really interests me. Really, it's fine. I guess it does run in season 4, episode 20, which is one of my favorite episodes of the show. So I mean, it's not all bad. But yeah, Penny tries to tell Leonard about them breaking up, but then she ends up sleeping with him. So yay! So season 6, episode 3 is, I guess, more important. I mean, the overall story of the show last episode, like Leonard and Penny didn't break up, so that didn't matter. Sheldon has a lot of stuff to work through, all of his scientific theories and stuff that he wrote as like a child. So yeah, and he just wants himself to do it. So he ends up hiring a secretary named Alex, and for some reason Amy is worried. Like, well, what are you worried about? To be honest, well, like, come on, man. Like, who's really gonna be interested in Sheldon Cooper? But yeah, it should be Penny. Penny is now worried because Leonard and Alex kind of get along, so that's a whole thing, and that will be more explored later on this season. And yeah, Alex Jensen is just kind of not really a good character in my opinion. She's kind of boring. Like, I don't really enjoy watching her on screen. Like, of all the Big Bang Theory characters, there are so much better options. Okay, like, who just says their favorite character is Alex Jensen? No one. Whatever. Also, Amy apparently licked all of the things around Sheldon's office in this episode, and she also did that in Penny's apartment. I'm sorry, how are you not dead after licking everything? How did you not catch a deadly disease? Like, licking everything? Oh my god. And also, Howard wrestles with cabin fever in this episode. Well, I mean, that's what Netflix says he's doing. Um, whatever. I like Howard slowly going crazy and him asking Bernadette and Raj to have drop pencils for him. That was funny. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, this episode is okay. Yeah, again, Alex Jensen, not a very good character. But I do like Raj in this episode because he wants to get together with her, and Leonard was kind of ruining his chances, which is kind of weird because, like, why is he doing that? Like, it's kind of weird. Does Leonard actually have a crush on Alex? Is that what's going on? So yeah, I don't really know which plot to call better. I mean, the premise of the main plot with Sheldon and Alex and Amy and Penny and Leonard and all those guys, that sounds better. But like, the character of Alex isn't really that good. But it doesn't really affect the plot too much. But then again, I mean, I do like the Howard plot. Okay, he takes off his pants in space. Like what? I really don't know. I think they're tied for me. Whatever, guys. It's a pretty good episode. So let's move on. Definitely the best season 6 has to offer so far. Okay, season 6, episode 4, but surprise, surprise, this is another good one. It's not like over 50% of the show is actually really good, and half the time I don't even criticize it. But yeah, this time, Sheldon, Amy, Penny, and Leonard all play Pictionary, and just Sheldon is just like on crack this episode. Well, not on crack. Okay, it's really funny, him just messing up Pictionary and all that. It was just really funny. Okay, I just can't explain it. It was really good. And then Howard comes back from space, and Bernadette ends up getting sick, which is just really disgusting. And I kind of feel bad for Howard in this episode, okay? Even Raj just, like, doesn't seem to care about him. Okay, well, I don't think Raj was that bad, okay? Then this mother kind of had a man over at the house, and then yeah, he ended up at the bar at the end of the day, and he got a free slice of cheesecake. Yeah, I was kind of sad Howard coming back, and no one gave a crap. Also, Sheldon and the gang also play other games like they do wrestling. They try to eat like pies without any hands, like just digging their faces into them. That was absolutely hilarious. Like Sheldon missing a Pictionary is probably one of the funniest scenes like in the whole show. So this is a great one. This probably is the new best of season 4, or not season 4, but season 6. Like seriously, I just can't. I don't think there's anything really wrong with this episode. Definitely one of the best of the whole season. I also love when Howard comes back and everyone starts going around him saying Howie, Howie, but like actually in reality, Howie Mandel was right next to him, and Howard thought that everyone was cheering for him. And that was actually really, really funny. And actually, the lightsabers that Sheldon and Penny used to spin around their heads in, and then they did like maths equations and stuff. I swear to God, I have those exact lightsabers, like the exact lightsabers. I have them. And they're in the background of all my videos. Okay, that's really cool. So, season 6, episode 5, there's a few things needed to be covered in this episode. So, plot number 1 is Leonard and Penny and them in work, and them sleeping together in work. Okay, I just want to ask this crucial question, but like, what if someone walks in? Like, can someone walk in? I mean, I guess they lock the door, but like, that'd be really weird. Or if you open the door, they get back here and close it, and then open up the door, and then someone says, "Why did you lock the door?" So, yeah. So Penny makes up a point that sometimes she forgets how smart Leonard is. That actually kind of goes for me as well. I kind of forget that how smart Leonard is. He actually is pretty smart just compared to Sheldon. You know, he just kind of gets outshined, of course, because it's Sheldon. But Leonard's IQ is pretty close to Sheldon's, I think, because he has an IQ of 180, and then so Leonard's will be 170, I think, or somewhere around there. I think Sheldon said they had a combined IQ of 360 or something. He said that in the beginning of the first episode. Yeah, Sheldon and Leonard's IQ were actually pretty close. But I don't know, I think maybe Sheldon uses his knowledge and his IQ a lot better than Leonard's. I don't know. Leonard is actually pretty smart. Okay, it's actually kind of cool seeing his lab and all that. And this is a good plot. Okay, just showing off Leonard's smartness. Also, Howard's back into space, so we can finally see him interact with all the gang in person since season 5, episode 24, so that's kind of awesome. And yeah, he basically turns every conversation into something about him being from space, which is very cool. I mean, he does turn it down in future episodes because Leslie learns at the end of this one, but he still brings it up a lot during the show. Okay. And you know, it's really cool. If I was an astronaut, I probably would brag about me go to space a lot as well. Okay. He literally turns everything into space. Like, seriously, everything. Then he gets mad once everyone goes to the Halloween party, and I was just kind of like, wait, why are you getting mad, bro? Come on, how do you not notice this? You literally turn every single conversation into that, man. Jesus bloody Christ. But then Bernadette shows him a video of someone else being like Howard, and that just kind of makes him stop. It was a little bit lame, but it was still a funny plot. Yeah, Raj plans this big Halloween party, and then everybody thinks it's Stuart's. So I mean, sad life for Raj, and everyone's Halloween costume here is really, really good. Okay, but I'm just saying, Howard going as Papa Smurf, and then Bernadette going as Smurfette is really, really weird because of the age difference. But you know what? I'm just not gonna talk about that. And then the Stuart being Willy Wonka, it just looks stupid. And Leonard being Albert Einstein, Penny being a police officer, then making out on that box, that time machine box, whatever it was. And then Amy and Sheldon have arguing over a Halloween costume for the whole episode, which kind of skipped over because not really much to talk about there. And then just this is it, like, but just seriously, that's a pretty good C-3PO costume. Like, it looks pretty real, so that's cool. Well, no, it's not C-3PO, it's C-3PO Herman. Whatever, this is pretty fun. Okay, just a fun Halloween party. This is the second out of 3 Halloween parties, because I'm pretty sure that's it, because there's a Halloween party in season 1 with Penny's apartment, then in here in season 6, episode 5, at the comic book store, and then in season 12 at the Leonard and Sheldon's apartment. This episode is pretty good. Season 6, episode 6, so yeah, it's under 66. So Penny is going back to school, which I'm surprised I didn't really focus on that much here. Like, did she ever graduate? The show never specifies. It only comes up in a few episodes here, and then an episode in season 7. that she's reading the paper on slavery crap, and then Leonard rewrites it because he's a weirdo, to be honest. Then Penny gets annoyed at him. Okay, this is kind of the reason why they didn't really fully go out in season two, because Leonard was really wanted to Penny to get an education, and Penny was like, yeah, no, I'm lazy. So this is kind of a big thing in their relationship, okay? Because I guess they kind of broke up because of this in the past, but I mean, they only went out on like one date. But yeah, I love when Penny gets a B, and then she kind of imitates Leonard in his face, and then Sheldon's just like laughing. That was actually really funny. Okay, this was kind of good. Okay, was all right. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It's solid, okay, but I didn't really like how Penny ended up getting help from Amy and Bernadette. And why didn't she accept the help from Leonard then? Like what's wrong with her? Yeah, so Penny really did have a reason to not want to tell Leonard in the first place. So yeah. Also in this episode, Sheldon plays the word game with Stephen Hawking, and yeah, at the end of the episode, Stephen Hawking makes fun of Sheldon, and then Leonard laughed at him. That was hilarious. Apparently, Stephen Hawking is a big loser, and sore loser. I do kind of wonder if that's true though. If Stephen Hawking would like them just saying that to the public, like he's a sore loser. I haven't met Stephen Hawking, but he kind of he does like to make jokes, so I know that. Yeah, this part of the episode isn't really that great. I do like how Leonard and Sheldon were both trying to tell each other their problems, and then Sheldon's just trying to overshadow Leonard and stuff like that. That was really funny. But this isn't the best plot. I think the Leonard and Penny plot was a lot better, and even then it wasn't that great. So this episode, it's fine. It's nothing special. I kind of felt we're down back at sub 1 and 2 territory now, unfortunately, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah, so let's continue. Season 6, Episode 7, Phone of Flags is back, and it's had the same problems with it before. And this time, Will Wheaton's on the show, and Sheldon takes the side, even though Amy is Sheldon's girlfriend. I know people saying that Sheldon was actually right in this situation, that Amy was being mean, but man, come on. Like, considering how much times Amy has stuck up for Sheldon unnecessarily, I really feel like Sheldon should have paid the favor here. There are so much times in this show where Sheldon was obviously acting really annoying and stuff, and although a lot of the time Amy called him out for it, sometimes she didn't. Like, I remember the episode later in the season where Sheldon holds Amy out in front of her when Howard comes in. So basically, if Sheldon thought that was a terrorist or a robber or something, and the person who he defends himself with is his girlfriend. What? So considering that, Sheldon probably should have paid the favor back to Amy and sided with her and stuff. And come on, like seriously. But it isn't really that big of a deal. I don't know why Amy got so angry, though. I mean, whatever. Will Wheaton is in this episode. I mean, I guess he kind of acts in character. I did like him earlier on the show, but now it just kind of he just kind of feels lame. I did love him and Sheldon's rivalry, okay, but now it's just kind of gone, and now he's just another one of Sheldon's friends. Yay! But overall, it's just another Amy gets angry at Sheldon, and Sheldon has to learn to become more human. So I actually couldn't find footage of this other plot, but it's basically footage of like early season 5, which is kind of the same, kind of the same arc. So another plot, Howard moves out of his mother. Howard and Bernadette move out. I mean, but I mean, this they were going to, but then Bernadette has second thoughts and everything. But I do think they move out. They just stay there another night because Howard makes Bernadette feel bad about his dad running away and all that, and going after that milk. I think it's the beginning of him trying to the running joke of him trying to make Bernadette feel bad about all that. I mean, it isn't one of my favorite jokes, but I mean, it's still funny. And eventually, his mom dying will be added to that list. Whatever. This is kind of fun. I do think it is better than the other plot, because although I do think people are complaining about the other one too much, it still isn't really that good. It's still just generic, to be honest. Like, we see this plot over and over again. So yeah, this episode is all right. So, season 6, episode 8 is a pretty strange one. Bernadette and Amy do not appear or be mentioned at all, which is a first. Well, it's one of the only times it really happens in season 6. Like, seriously, they usually are at least mentioned, or one of them appears, or something, but no. This is actually a kind of a. This is a. A good episode, in my opinion. I do like the Howard and Raj spying on Sheldon plot. I mean, it doesn't feel like it drags on for too long, but then again, like when you look at the episode, I feel like it should have been like shorter. It doesn't feel like a plot that would have stretched out for that long, but I don't really feel like it's bad. I do like when she like gets sucked into that world hole. I don't know how he's able to edit that, but like hired a professional editor on the internet, or maybe he had to learn the skills off of Squarespace. This is where I would like to talk about the sponsorship, but I mean the Squarespace doesn't sponsor me. Come on, Squarespace, you know you want to do it. No, no, don't sponsor me. Okay, you're gonna lose so much money. So I mean, it's fun and all that, yeah. And at the end of the day, Sheldon was just trying to kick this little ball in the room, and it was really really weird. But why do Raj and Howard want to find out what Sheldon's doing? Like that's the thing that I just don't really understand. Like, why do they care? It's kind of a plot hole, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's still a fun plot and all that. And of course, the other two characters have to be doing something in this episode because reasons. The other plot is very interesting with Leonard and Penny. It's one of the most important ones of the show. Kind of, I guess. You know how they broke up in the third season? Yeah, it's because Leonard didn't propose in bed, but he said "I love you" in bed. It's kind of weird how that really wasn't the biggest mistake that he made in bed. Just thinking about it, like, why did Leonard propose in bed? Like, what the hell, man? That was stupid. Last time you said something meaningful in bed, you ended up breaking up with her. Whatever. So Penny finally says that she loves him, which just kind of came out of her mouth accidentally. But I mean, we all know that she loves Leonard. She just doesn't want to say it because she's weird. And yeah, I guess there's nothing really much to say about this plot. I kind of feel like there's not as much to say about season 6. Like these videos have been gradually getting longer and longer, but I feel like this is not going to be longer than the season 5 episode. But I'm probably going to be wrong. Because me being wrong is just a thing. Yeah, I liked Leonard's conversation with the dude that Penny was out hanging out with. That was funny, and I don't know, and it was weird. But the guy didn't really seem like he knew who Leonard was. But whatever. I mean, it was probably pretty weird for him. But the thing is, all of these again just kind of looks like a generic guy that Penny used to date, and yeah, he doesn't really have any of his own personality, and he never comes back. So I don't even know why I'm complaining about this, but there's so much generic looking like people in this show. Like seriously, yeah, whatever. Nothing really else to talk about. It's a good episode. I do really like the Leonard and Penny plot though. That's a bit better than the 43 plot, which is basically what the episode's named after. Why not do this thing? This is the more meaningful plot. What the hell, man? And next episode, season 6, episode 9. What if you take 6 and 9 and put them together? You get 69. This episode is probably my favorite episode of the whole season. Yeah, we're at the high point today, boys. Usually every season has like an episode or two that are like really, really good and just have like no flaws in them at all. I think they're like pretty like perfect. And the two seasons I think that I just always think of the best episodes for are definitely season 6 and 7. So in season 6 there's the Park and Spot escalation this episode, and we'll get to the season 7 one. Well, season 5 doesn't really have any episodes really that I think are really outstanding though, unfortunately. But in this episode, Howard and Sheldon fight for parking spot, and it's really really fun. Okay, some great outstanding moments here, but with Howard sitting on Sheldon's spot naked and having Sheldon's laptop on his lap as well. That was great. Like the extent that this goes to just for a parking spot is absolutely hilarious, and man, it's so good. And the girls get into it, and then Amy ends up hitting Penny in the jaw with her handbag full of with a a box of pennies, a jar of pennies. So oops. It's just a really really fun episode, and Sheldon even like goes to Howard's spot and just spray paints out his name. That was just so good. It was great. Okay, I just love this episode, and there really isn't that much to talk about here because it is really it's amazing. Season 6, episode 10. Amy is sick, and Sheldon has to take care of her. And Sheldon doesn't want to, but he's forced to, and I kind of feel like he doesn't really complain enough. Like, come on, man, it's Sheldon. That's what I like about him. So he just kind of does it, and Amy ends up pretending to be sick at the end. Well, she was sick originally, but she didn't want Sheldon to stop taking care of her. So I mean that was great. I mean the spanking scene was just kind of awkward for me. I didn't really like it at all. Okay, and why was Sheldon wearing just a regular like shirt, like a shirt like with buttons and all that? That's not usually what he wears. Like why? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is a problem with the episode because of Sheldon's what Sheldon is wearing, but I'm just confused by it. Maybe I missed something in the episode. Whatever. I didn't really feel like there was anything special about this one. It was fine. This plot definitely isn't as good as the other one. It's your perfect middle of the no, it's your middle of the road Big Bang Theory annoying boring plot. Howard is in the second. Howard is the main focus of the second plot. He needs to learn how to fish when he's going to go fishing with his stepdad, not stepdad, but his father-in-law, Mike. Bernadette's father. I love how they went to Penny for advice for fishing, and Howard, Raj, and then it all got grossed out. I thought that was actually really funny. The thing I don't like is when Howard went to the Bernadette's parents came over to her apartment. I mean I kind of like the awkwardness between Howard and Mike, but like I don't know, man. I just kind of didn't really like Bernadette's mother. I really feel like she's a really boring character. Like compared to Mike, she's just really bland. Doesn't have any character traits whatsoever. And okay, I mean I could excuse Mike being more quiet because we've seen his personality in the past. We've seen more of him in this episode. It would be nice to get more from Mrs. Rostenkowski, but this was fine. We actually saw Howard and Mike bond at the end of the episode, and it's kind of weird how much these few see this era of the Big Bang Theory kind of focus on Bernadette's father. I'm not complaining. It's just kind of strange when we at this point we haven't even seen Penny's mother. And we've only seen Penny's father like once, so it's weird. This is a lot better than the other plot, definitely. Let's move on. Season 6, episode 11, the annual Christmas episode. Well, I mean, not the annual Christmas episode. Season 5, episode 11 was my least favorite episode of the whole show. I mean, it can't be a Christmas episode, and it wasn't. It was like the least Christmas episode ever. So on one side, I thought we have the guys playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and what happens? Nothing, really. I mean, Sheldon has a nightmare about Santa at the end, which was kind of funny, but other than that, there's nothing really going on in this episode. Just them playing D&D, and I wish Raj, it was just the main guys, Sheldon, Howard, Leonard, and Raj. Yeah. I mean, Stuart was there, and I don't hate Stuart. I just kind of wish he was the main set of guys. Okay, this is the first out of two times the guys play D&D, and like both times Raj is completely out of the picture. To be honest, with him, he's for a bit, but then just no. I do like the thing with the bells though. So I mean, that was cool. Whatever. I really wish Raj stayed here to play, but I mean, the plot with him and the girls wasn't that bad. Raj and the girls can go off for a night out, and yeah, things happen. It was a lot better than the guys playing D&D plot because it had a plot where Raj and Amy kind of spent some time with each other. And thinking about it, how did this episode ever get to even 18 minutes? Well, I mean, it's not just Raj and Amy. The girls try to get Raj to and get a girl himself. That sounded weird. It was cool, I guess. Seeing Raj and Amy kind of hang out and stuff, and apparently Raj started liking Penny after Bernadette. So like Raj didn't have an interest in Penny before that. I thought everyone had kind of had a. I mean, he obviously finds Penny attractive because I mean he couldn't talk. He can't talk in front of her. Whatever. The only girls he can talk in front of is Mrs. Wallowitz and his family. So yeah, I mean for obvious reasons. I mean Raj. Back to Raj and Amy. We do see their a lot. Well, not a lot, but we do see some kind of chemistry between them. But they're usually after this episode. So this is where their character relationship was built up, and it's kind of cool. Okay, I kind of liked how they are kind of bonding over being lonely. Whatever. This episode was cool. This plot was better than the last one because again, there's something going on in it. Okay, so next episode, season 6, episode 12. Um, this is the one that everybody remembers, right? Yeah, I don't even really know. This is where I think Sheldon is most unlikable, although I think that some of the jokes here are funny. Um, yeah, I mean, like, what was it with Sheldon calling women egg salad sandwiches? Like, what did he mean by that? I don't even understand. Like, okay, I guess I can kind of see where he's coming from, but that is just really weird. And we see Janine Davis here, for I think the first time. I'm pretty sure. Maybe as we've seen her again this season, I might even mention that. I just forgot that I mentioned it because I'm an idiot. But she's definitely one of my favorite characters. Oh, well, I mean, like 90% of the show's characters are some of my favorite characters, so that's not saying much. So yeah, Alex is in this episode. I swear she was in like one of the episodes. Oh yeah, she was in the 43 thingamabob. Oh, by the way, why didn't Leonard pick up on that conversation which he had with Alex and for the 43 peculiarity bitch? Alex was obviously flirting with him, but Leonard just didn't pick up on that, did he? Whatever. I like the conversation with Sheldon and the girls, and the whole Leonard and Penny situation was still pretty good. I don't really understand why Penny didn't tell Alex that him and her and Leonard were dating though. She just told him that they were kind of doing an experiment, which I mean wasn't wrong. If you think about it, every relationship is an experiment. So yeah, great. We're all test subjects. Well, I mean, I'm not a test subject yet. This episode's good. I mean, I kind of feel like I would be offending someone if I elaborated on it further. So yeah, I'm not going to. The Bakersfield expedition, season 6, episode 13. I once upon a time I actually really loved this episode because it was different. They went out on a big adventure and stuff, but I mean, they never even got to Comic Con. They just kind of quit at the end of the day. And why does Leonard keep on that ball cap? Like, why not just take it off? I mean, maybe I don't understand the ball cap. Maybe you can't take it off. You have to wait for it to take it. I don't really understand. I do think it was really funny when they all came in with their Star Trek costumes into that bar that everyone just looked at them. Whatever. I mean, outside it really just looked terrible in my opinion. But I guess that's just me. I did love when they were taking all the photos and stuff. That was cool. But overall, I just kind of wish they got to their destination instead of just quitting. It just kind of feels lame. Like there's no happy ending, and then it's just sad because they just didn't get to their destination at all. There's nothing to it. It just feels like nothingness. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really like this episode. I mean, I did like the looks of all the characters dressed up though. And I don't even like Star Trek, so I mean, if I was a Star Trek fan, I would like it a lot more than I do. Meanwhile, the girls read comic books and they kind of get interested in them, but this never comes up again in the series because I mean, it would kind of ruin the tone of the series, or not the tone, like the theme of the series, or about like Penny and the girls not understanding comic books. I mean, yeah, well, we do technically see the girls arguing about comic books in like season 9 or something, not arguing about like Batman. Whatever. It was funny when the guys came back and they just heard them all were yelling about comic books and stuff and about Thor's hammer and all that. I like the girls like arguing about comic books. It was fun, but like I just don't understand why this never came back in the series again. Whatever. This is a lot better than the guys going on this stupid adventure plot because I mean the characters were like likable. No. I mean, it was a better story. Okay, it was fun to see them arguing about comic books. It was fun. And there really isn't much I can say about it other than it was a good episode. If it could have thought the thing with the guys, but if you even it out, it was a perfectly average episode. Okay, so the next episode, season 6, episode 14, Sheldon and Barry work together, and I remember watching the scene on YouTube one time of a scene in this episode where Penny and Leonard get back to their apartment, and Sheldon is playing that the Imperial March and listening to it because he's really annoyed. So I mean, I lied. I think that was actually the first Big Bang Theory scene I watched, but I mean, didn't really. I don't think I even watched it all. So I mean, does it really count? This episode is strange. I don't really want to talk about this part of the plot. Okay, I like the first half of Sheldon and Barry working together about him being really annoyed about it and all that, and him giving Barry the envelope with nothing in it. But the second half, I just don't want to talk about because it would make me really awkward. But I mean, no, I'm not going to talk about it. And the second plot, Howard and Raj get dolls of themselves off the internet. They look nothing like each other. Like I love just seeing Howard's doll with the big long nose, and Raj saying that he's not dark chocolate, he's melt in your mouth caramel. Yeah, you bet. There's these problems I have here, like Howard then goes and buys a $5,000 printer. I don't know why he would think Bernadette is happy with that, and if you, yeah. Also, I don't even know why Leonard didn't get one. I mean, Penny said the idea was stupid, and he was like, nah. Penny said that plenty of things are stupid, and Leonard still goes along with them. But that's just a little nitpick. This is a pretty fun episode, and yeah, I mean, so let's talk about season 6, episode 15. Is a very forgettable one because it's just Leonard trying to move in with Penny and Amy trying to move in with Sheldon, and none of their plans work. I don't really like Sheldon in this episode. This is his whole thing where he just says for basically the whole episode. I mean, it was annoying. Didn't find it funny. I don't know why he just didn't just tell Amy that he didn't want her to move in with him. So it's pretty annoying. Oh man, and also the reason why Sheldon and Leonard had the big fight now. I mean, another one that's like just pretty forgettable to be honest. Sheldon spoiled Harry Potter for him, even though Leonard probably should have read the books before. But okay, fine. I mean, they spoil it for the audience as well, so it's not funny. Okay, I'm just getting annoyed at Sheldon though. The whole series is basically spoiled for Harry Potter for me. I'm like, come on, what's the point of me watching the movies anymore? I know exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, they try to move in, but nothing happens really, and uh, this episode is just really forgettable. And my opinion, isn't really here. I mean, they get to have the big blow at the end, and everything goes back to normal. Yay! So this episode, we finally get a glimpse of Mrs. Wallowitz. Yeah, the second plot, which is, I mean, a lot better than the main plot. Let's be fair. We see Mrs. Wallowitz walk across like the kitchen a little bit, which is cool. We don't see her face or anything, but we see that she's big. I actually envisioned her to be bigger, but okay. It was fun to see Raj go over there and interact with Mrs. Wallowitz. I always loved her. Also, Howard calling Raj after Raj had literally spent the night with Mrs. Wallowitz. That was really weird, and yeah, I want to see the footage of Raj sliding off the bed. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, this is better than the main plot. It's really funny, but I mean, a little bit weird at the same time. But we get a first glimpse of Mrs. Wallowitz, so I mean, it's great. Welcome. Okay, I was going to do the intro there. Pretty embarrassing. Whatever. Season 6, episode 16 or something. This episode was pretty cool. I loved the fight that Howard and Bernadette got into at the Valentine's dinner with Leonard and Penny. Yeah, I know it's a bit weird how Bernadette kind of treats Howard as a child, but I mean, he kind of acts like a child half the time, so it's fine. Also, the season does kind of build up that Bernadette being I think a lot more financially stable than Howard, and her kind of bullying him a lot. But whatever, that wasn't the main focus of the dinner. Penny saw an ex-boyfriend at the restaurant, and that's actually kind of normal for Penny. I mean, she has a lot of exes, like hundreds, I'd say. So I mean, seeing one of them at dinner, that's like a regular occurrence. But they kind of proposed, so rough life for Penny, and then Howard, sorry, and then they tried to propose to Penny, and she instantly shut him down. Now, when they go back home, Penny says that Leonard says that he'll keep proposing to Penny and everything, and stuff, and they'll keep going out of line. Then Penny will eventually say yes, and then they'll get married, and it'll be going too fast or something like that. But Leonard has only proposed 2 times. That's not that much. It's only twice. Okay, like come on. I don't think they really went too far with that. Maybe they should have had Leonard propose a few more times. But overall, the episode was pretty good. I mean, it kind of was a little bit forgettable. Like, I kind of just feel like, oh yeah, Valentine's Day is here again. which is kind of what Big Bang Theory feels like in these few seasons. Just like, oh yeah, Valentine's Day here, yeah, just gonna whack out this episode. But it was still fun. It still did advance Leonard and Penny's story, and this is only one of the 3 plots, so that's pretty cool. This episode has a lot to talk about. And also, Raj and Stuart have this party for people who are lonely on Valentine's Day, and I mean, it was pretty fun. Them just sitting around doing nothing. Okay, fine. That part wasn't good, but the part that I really loved about this episode was Raj's speech about him being lonely and stuff, and it was cool, but it doesn't really tie in with the rest of the series. He goes on about this whole speech, and then, oh man, this is kind of ruins the next episode for me. I'll get to that when I get to that, but then he instantly meets Lucy, kind of. He's just I don't know what to say. Just the face he makes at everybody is like just kind of funny. This is the start of the whole Raj and Lucy relationship. We're not going to talk about it here because you know, nothing really happens. But I'll get to, of course, I'll talk to it when the relationship is fully explored. And the final plot here is Amy gives Sheldon the best birthday gift he could ever ask for. Just them sitting around doing nothing. I mean, kind of feel like it was supposed to be a heartwarming moment, but you know, it wasn't for me. And season 8 kind of did that in a better way. Not on Valentine's Day, on Christmas. But this is definitely my least favorite plot about the whole show. Not the whole show, but this episode definitely it's the most forgettable because other two I can remember. This one is just it's just Sheldon and Amy on Valentine's Day. And this is kind of it. Alex makes her final appearance here. She never appears again. It would have made a lot more sense for her to make her final appearance in season 6, episode 12. If she did, then I probably wouldn't question it. Because Sheldon didn't really treat Alex in the best way. She even made her take his human resources class or whatever. Or his class and him learning about feminine... I don't know. But she gets Amy loads of Valentine's Day gifts. And yeah, it's just kind of annoying that he didn't go do it himself or anything like that. And then when he finally just found a gift that would be perfect for her, he just keeps it for himself. I didn't really like that. Okay, it just really didn't. It just didn't really feel me very good. Okay, I don't think Sheldon should have done that. Whatever, I didn't really get much out of the whole Amy being his emergency contact. Whatever, it's fine. I had a funny joke at the end. That's kind of it. Do you think Leonard and Penny's plot was slightly better than Roger's plot because a lot of it was kind of boring? But whatever. Season 6 episode. What episode is it now? 16? I don't know. I really don't like the main plot about this episode. I really, really, really don't like it. Just because Lucy climbed out the window, now Raj is just gonna be depressed. Yeah. Okay, I'll go into more detail. Raj and Lucy were having coffee, and basically Lucy has an extreme social anxiety, so she can climb out the window. I just hate how he had this really nice speech at the end of last episode and just ignored all of that and decided to just be depressed for some reason. Even when Howard gave Raj the girl's phone number, he just decided to do nothing with it. Just stay there in his underpants in his apartment all day. What the hell, man? I just don't think this is in Raj's character. He's had plenty of failures before, okay, and I guess he will still have many failures to come. But I just don't understand his motivations in this episode. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And the other plot is just the most generic thing ever. Sheldon tries to be nice to Penny about her getting a performance or something, or him saying thank you. I don't know, man. I watched this episode recently. I can't even remember what it's about. Just Penny performing at somewhere above a bowling alley, which I guess does come up again in the series, but whatever. We didn't really have to see it on camera. It's generic, it's boring. I like, though, before they go to the play and all that, that Sheldon hands Leonard all of his things and stuff like that scene. Whatever, when I say it, doesn't really sound that funny. Whatever, this episode's fine. I mean, anything's better than the other plot, but altogether, it makes a pretty bad episode. I would like the plots to be to stop being so forgettable and mediocre, and just stop blending in with all the other episodes. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. The next episode is a million times better because nothing could be worse than that episode. Well, I mean, except season 5, episode 9. I did not like that one either. I like how Sheldon Leonard and Howard going to the school in this one. Not the school, but Howard's old middle school, and how Howard kind of gets treated by a student of by a bully in the hallway. That was actually kind of funny because he's short. Also, Sheldon typing them into Google how to get 12-year-old girls excited. That was hilarious. Just the whole talk with the students was actually pretty fun. It wasn't amazing, but I mean, it was still a pretty good episode. And the girls dressing up as Disney princesses was fun, and them FaceTiming the guys was fun. I mean, it was just all around fun episode, but nothing amazing. Raj and Lucy have dinner in the library, and this is actually the first appearance of a recurring character named Bert. Yeah, this is weird. Uh huh. Weird thing about Bert is that he basically appeared in this episode and then appeared in a season 7 episode, and then didn't appear in season 8 or 9, but then became like a recurring character season 8, season 10, 11, 12. It's a little bit weird. I like how Raj just tells Bert to go back up whatever beanstalk it came down from. That was actually really, really funny. But the overall date that Raj and Lucy do have is actually really fun. Not fun, but it's just really cute, okay? It's not the most exciting plot in the world, but I just love it. This is the start of me actually liking their relationship because, I mean, because the last episode did not make me like that relationship. I think Lucy is one of the most underrated Big Bang Theory characters, and together as a couple, with Raj being another underrated Big Bang Theory character, I feel like they're probably the most underrated couple in the show. Da ba da ba da. Not really much to talk about here. It's just really cute. So season 6, episode 19 is a very special one. It's another one that I think it's probably the second best episode of the show. It can't beat the park and spot escalation, but yeah, this one has Howard as I guess kind of the main focus. And before we get into this episode, I just want to say that this season has really done Howard in a really good light. With everything going to space and all that, and this park and spot escalation in this episode, I mean, seriously, I mean, it's a lot of the best moments from this season have came from Howard, and to be honest, I love him in this season. In a season that has kind of been not as good as the previous ones. I mean, at least Howard still has he's keeping his head strong. So Howard got letters from his dad, and he hid it away from his closet years ago. And then Sheldon read it. Yeah, I did mention in my Young Sheldon season 3 retrospective video that that's the one I did like 2 weeks ago, where Sheldon in the season finale, Sheldon had to look up loads of like law attorneys and stuff like that to see if he could like read a letter that wasn't posted to him. And he wanted to know if his sister Missy read it, then and she told him, would he be breaking the law or something like that. But in this episode, he just reads a random letter, so it's kind of weird. Now I know that the Young Sheldon episode came after this one, but I kind of feel like Sheldon was acting more in character there. Like I just don't feel like it's really in Sheldon's character to just read a random letter. But I mean, yeah, that's my only gripe with the episode. At least he didn't go around telling everybody and stuff. Yeah, I actually love Sheldon's story about Howard's dad when they were all telling him what it could be. At the end of the episode, I just loved Sheldon's. That was just really funny. Also, Sheldon uses Amy as a human shield. So, like, what's up with that? I mentioned that earlier, but that's pretty messed up. But yeah, but this episode's really good, and just thinking about it, yeah, I do wonder what letter is the truth, because Howard's dad is one of the biggest mysteries of the show. Okay, we've no clue what he looks like. Well, I mean, people have pointed out that there's like pictures around Howard's house that have two people there, so I mean, it could be Howard's parents for all we know. But I don't know, man. It's always just fascinating me what happened with Howard's dad. I feel like the message, not the message, but the part of the episode where he burned the letter was just touching, man. I really felt that. Feel like this is one of the first episodes where we really focus on Howard's dad leaving him, because it wasn't something that was really touched on that much in the early seasons. Like I feel like it was only brought up in the season 3 at first, in season 3 episode 17, which is kind of weird. Okay, like the roommate agreement not being brought up until season 2. Yeah, Howard's dad leaving him was definitely something more focused on in the later seasons. I wonder if we ever did get that milk. Also, find it weird that Mrs. Wallowitz isn't in this episode. I'm pretty sure she isn't, even though this is like a big episode with Howard and his dad. Uh, but whatever, it just doesn't need to be in here or anything. It doesn't feel weird when you're watching it. The next episode, season 6, episode 20, is another banger. Like, let's go. I kind of feel like kind of a there's something odd with season 6 where like all the mediocre episodes are kind of like in a bunch, and then it'll go back to some more good episodes for like a few episodes, then go back to mediocre. I mean, it's just kind of weird. If you're gonna have a good one, it's usually surrounded by another few good ones. Okay, we had like 3 in a row here, but before that we had a few like mediocre in a row, so it's kind of strange in that way. Whatever, this episode's really good. It's another really good one that I always love revisiting. This season does have a bunch of really good episodes. It's just that it's kind of buried in a lot of mediocrity as well. Sheldon, Leonard, and Raj all fight for tenure, and I'm just asking this, but why can't Howard get tenure? Is this just because he's an engineer? Really? I mean, he went to space, man. Why couldn't he get tenure? Whatever, the parts of this episode is cool. Okay, I just love Sheldon and Mrs. Davis. That was cool. Leonard on the treadmill with Barry Kripke. Oh yeah, I love him in this episode as well. But apparently he's gonna end up babysitting Mrs. Davis's children. I don't think I don't think I'd put my children in the care of Barry Kripke. In my that's just weird. In future episodes, he said that he's gonna try to spy in the girls' bathroom. So I mean, no. Yeah, but there is something that makes them waff and waff. Also, like, how do Penny's breasts stay up like that? That's weird. Also, the fist bump was weird. Okay, this episode's awesome. Okay, Raj even trying to impress Mrs. Davis was just good. I love everyone trying to impress Mrs. Davis. That was just awesome. An episode where everyone was trying to compete against each other. Okay, it was kind of fun. It kind of felt like the parking spot escalation again. Well, I mean, it wasn't as good as parking spot escalation, but it was just another good one. Okay. I feel like the good ones this season just always kind of feel like there's one plot going on, even though they could like kind of split up into a few different plots. They all combine into like this one overarching story in the episode. With the parking spot, I mean, it kind of the girls and the boys split up, but they were like always kind of arguing about the same bloody thing about the parking spot and all that. And it kind of, well, I mean, didn't really combine it in anything, did it? Really? I think this process kind of stayed separate. But I mean, the Howard's Letter episode, I mean, it was kind of the same plot. Didn't really have any like subplots. It's just that plot. But this episode, I mean, I don't know what point I'm trying to make here. Starts out with a plot, then everyone splits up, and then at the end it all combinates in something. I'm just gonna move on. Next episode. Next episode, we're back to making. Next episode, we're back to mediocrity. Let's. Next episode, we're back to mediocrity. Let's go. Yeah, Sheldon and Amy try to help Amy tried to help Sheldon deal with his compulsive disorder, and I like when Sheldon tried to blow up the body candles, but Sheldon pulls it away. Amy pulls it away from him, and then he said he wished that you were dead. That was funny. But other than that, his plot was just kind of boring. I mean, yeah, it's just them kind of doing tasks, and that is just kind of it. I mean, I guess it was kind of funny him just doing all the tasks again because he didn't actually deal with this compulsive disorder. But then again, that just kind of makes the plot feel pointless. So I don't have anything to say about this one. And the second plot is Raj and Lucy. Raj reads Lucy's blog, and he learns that he's really feminine, so he tries to try on some hockey shirts and all that. And I mean, I guess this was better than the Amy and Sheldon plot. It was all right, I guess. It was fine. But none of that really interests me. Okay, we learn more about Lucy, that she used to watch hockey with her dad. That was great. But overall, no, this wasn't very no plot that really interested me. It's really hard to talk about these mediocre episodes sometimes because there's nothing I really like and nothing I really hate as well. So it's just kind of really hard to talk about them sometimes. And the third plot after, I guess, an interaction with Sheldon, which kind of sparks his plot. Him learning that this show called Alphas is ending, and it happened in season 3, even though season 2 ended with a cliffhanger. I feel for you, Sheldon. Leonard gets the idea to watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Penny, and yeah, I guess Penny is an epiphany in this one. She thinks that she doesn't get as passionate about stuff as Leonard, but then she realizes she's passionate about him and all of her friends and stuff, and yeah, it's cool. It's a thing, yeah. It's serviceable. It's not amazing, but yeah, it was probably the best plot in the episode, to be honest. Love when she opened the door and just said that she appreciates Sheldon, and Sheldon just said I love you too. That was funny. But overall, a pretty average episode. Okay, season 6, episode 22. We're back to classic TBBT. I mean classic. I mean good. We get the introduction of Professor Proton, which I love. So yeah, Arthur Jeffries here. He hangs out with the gang: Sheldon, Amy, no, not Sheldon, Penny, and Leonard. I feel like Amy should have been in this episode, but she just wasn't. Maybe she made like a appearance in one scene, but no, I'm pretty sure she didn't make an appearance in this episode, which was kind of weird, considering. I mean, she probably should have been there. That was really weird that Arthur got off as slowly stayed there because Penny was there. It was a little bit weird. Whatever. I love the character of Arthur Jeffries, and that was actually really a heartwarming moment when Sheldon showed the letter that he sent to Arthur, and Arthur sent back a picture of himself to Sheldon with it signed, and it's kind of sad that Missy ripped it in young Sheldon. You know, that was sad. But yeah, this is a great episode. Okay, there's nothing really much I can talk about again, but it was just really fun. Okay, the experiments and seeing how clueless Penny was. And apparently, Arthur, when he's in the hospital after having a heart attack, he asks Sheldon to do the children's show that he has set up the next day. And I'm wondering to myself, how the bloody fuck would that have gone on? Sheldon being Professor Proton, I want to see that. And the other plot, Howard and Burnett look after Cinnamon for a day while Raj is doing some crap. This was fun, not nearly as good as the Professor Proton plot because they can beat Professor Proton. I like how Amber Burnett was saying how they can make they could that she could actually kind of see her and Howard starting a family. Then right afterwards, Cinnamon's gone. Wow. It was a bit weird how Burnett's are sound like Raj and that kind of turned Howard on. That was really weird. I mean, she didn't really sound like Raj. She just kind of sounded like an Indian. However, I thought that was kind of funny how she gave out to Raj and everything. She really did sound like a mom, even though I mean, still Howard Burnett did lose her. But then again, like, why didn't Raj contact Howard and Bernadette? Then he would have the moral high ground. See what I did there? Anyway, next episode. Okay, season 6, episode 23. Everyone plays Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot of fun. Even the girls do it because when they were going to go to Vegas, but Amy hit one of the people at the airport with her handbag and broke her nose or something. Typical Amy. Would have loved to see that. And Raj isn't there again because he's going out with dinner with Lucy. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But it's the second time of this season that everyone's playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it was actually pretty exciting this time. It was a lot more fun than last time, I think. Howard did all these impressions and stuff, and it was actually this episode I realized that the Dungeon Master rolls the dice every single time, which personally I don't like. I like rolling the dice, bro. I like making my own decisions. Okay, I like rolling the dice. Okay, I want to be the Dungeon Master just so I can roll the dice, but then I won't actually be feeling like I'm playing the game. I just rolling all the dice and stuff like that. My opinion, the Dungeon Master shouldn't exist. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons or something. I think it would be cool. Whatever. Then they say that Sheldon and Amy should do it in the game, and this is actually one of the only Sheldon and Amy plots that I actually like from this season because Sheldon and Amy have been consistently just mediocre this season. They haven't made any strides in their relationship. Because season 3 they met, season 4 they actually got to know each other, season 5 they actually started their relationship, season 7 they have the first kiss, season 8 at the end of season 8 they break up, And in season 9 they get back together and all that. Season 10 they move in together and get engaged. Season 11 they get married. And season 12 they win a Nobel Prize. This is the only season that has Amy in it that Sheldon and Amy don't have like anything really going on in their relationship. But this is actually one of the best Sheldon and Amy plots. Okay, they actually kind of discussed the whole physical intimacy thing, and it's really cool, especially when Leonard and Penny came to the room and they just it was funny. But yeah, I love Howard's impressions and all that and that stuff, and had a pretty cool Amy and Sheldon moment. So that was pretty great. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good plot. Okay, a lot better than the other Dungeons and Dragons plots, as I said. And the subplot for this episode is Raj and Lucy go out on a date, and we really do get to see their Lucy's social anxiety. She climbs out a window again. Yeah. She can't even send food back at a restaurant. She's so socially anxious. Okay, and I thought it was just a really nice episode, getting to know Raj and Lucy a little bit more. And they ended up kissing, and they nearly did, and the one where they went on a date in the library, but nope. I think the show portrayed social anxiety kind of well. I mean, I don't really know. I haven't been around some this socially anxious. Okay, but I like what they did with it. Okay, I thought it was really enjoyable. It's really funny and stuff, and yeah, that's what Big Bang does. And this does lead into the next episode where they do kind of break up. So yeah. Alright, it's a great episode. This is a great plot. I do rather to the Dungeons and Dragons plot because the guys are just playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's nothing really to it. So the season finale, Leonard gets a chance to go into the North Sea on a ship with Stephen Hawking. Well, not with Stephen Hawking, but when he was sent there by Stephen Hawking to do some research. And of course Sheldon's really annoyed, and he said that he could die out in sea and blah 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 blah. And Penny makes him calm down. Right? We've seen this a lot before in the show, and sometimes we do forget that this happens in this episode. But I mean, it's still pretty fun. Okay, it's always fun to see Penny and Sheldon interact, and it was a pretty good season finale. Not the best that the show has to offer, of course, but not the best that the season has to offer. But I mean, it was still great. I did like the Raj and Lucy stuff. Lucy ends up not even coming to that party. And she ends up breaking up with Raj, which I think was actually kind of heartbreaking. Okay, and Howard read out the message in front of everybody, and yeah, it was pretty sad. Though when Raj and Amy met up with Lucy, of course Raj was in the wrong, but Amy was still kind of in the wrong a bit as well. Because she literally just said right in front of Lucy that something was wrong with her brain. But you don't just say that to someone. She's been a little bit rude as well. And she should know how to act for these people, right? More than Raj. Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just shouldn't. Whatever. And there was a final scene before Lena goes to the airport, and they both say "I love you," like. Yeah, okay, that was really nice. They finally say it both to each other, it was great. I love Sheldon freaking out about them being in a bad parking spot or something like that. And then the last scene with Penny and Raj was one of the most important scenes of the series. When Raj finally gets over his selective mutism, and yeah, it was a pretty powerful moment. Okay, that was awesome. But no, that wasn't the final scene because actually it was really good. This is really good one. Basically, Raj was just talking to the girls and he's just talking about blah blah romance crap, blah 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 blah. Maybe we can wait, maybe we can get back together eventually, blah 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 blah. He goes on and his speech goes into the credits, and I thought it was actually really really funny. It was a great season finale. So that was season 6. It was decent. I really don't know if I like this season or season 5 more. They're both pretty mediocre and definitely don't live up to the first 4 seasons, in my opinion. Like season 2, 3, and 4 are definitely like miles above these two, in my opinion. But they do not they do have their moments. I think all the Howard stuff this season was great, with him going to space. And some of the episodes with him were great. We find out more about him and his relationship with his dad in that one episode, and it was pretty great. Leonard and Penny's relationship was definitely benefit off of the season with them finally saying "I love you," which was a big breaking point for the relationship in the first place. Of course, it came out first by accident, but then finally in the season finale, Penny and Leonard finally said both said "I love you," and it was a pretty magical moment. The best episode of the season is definitely about the American spot escalation. I thought that was actually a really funny plot. Just everyone, Bernadette Howard versus Sheldon and Amy. This does happen again in season 12, but it isn't done as well there. I mean, of course, that was a good episode, but nothing could beat the parking spot escalation. Those are the great episodes, like the one where everyone's trying to get tenure and all that. That was great. Roger and Lucy is a couple in this season, and although I don't really like how it started off with Raj locking himself in his apartment for days on end, I thought that was the worst plot of the point in this entire series. Okay, maybe not in the entire series. I didn't like that bully plot in season 5, episode 11. Yeah, but now we're gonna go on to the downside of the season. Sheldon and Amy, I didn't really think had any good plots like at all. Starting off with season 6, episode 1 wasn't very interesting, and the Valentine's Day episode wasn't very interesting with them. And I could go on, but every time this season tries to do something with Sheldon and Amy, it doesn't really hit, in my opinion. Okay, I just didn't really feel it, and there were overall just some really mediocre plots. There's some pretty unmemorable plots in the season. Yeah, I think I probably remember a lot more from season 5, but it doesn't mean that season 5 is better. I don't know, maybe I'll choose between the two someday. But this season did introduce Professor Proton, which was pretty cool. Okay, I mean that was only in one episode, but I mean, come on, man, that's one of the best episodes. And overall, yeah, the season is alright. I definitely wish it was better. As well as season 5, but who knows? Maybe the next season will be better. Okay, well, that's it today, everyone. I don't have any time to really do a bit of an outro. Let's just bye.